Hey guys, I'm iPod Zeke and I'm here with
Ryan Vaughn.
SimGuru Ryan, and I'm
That's
here
right.
to talk to him, to ask him some questions about The Sims 3 and his job and stuff like that, and then I will bring in SimGuru Brittany, or Britt, to ask about The Sims 3 university life questions. I have questions that you guys have asked me on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and I'm here to get those answered for you guys. Yeah, let's get started. So, I'm gonna talk to you about, or just ask you some questions about The Sims 3 and your job and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, before we begin though, I want to ask you, are you guys hiring? Because I would apply for a job here.
We're always looking for fresh faces. There's lots of stuff to do.
We'll keep me in your head.
Will do.
For sure. Okay, well, to start off, how long have you worked here, and do you like it?
I love working here. I started in 2007 working on The Sims 2 Castaway on console. It was on Wii and PS3, and then after that I was lucky enough to move on to The Sims 3 base game. And
Cool.
I've worked on almost every expansion since.
Sounds like fun. I wish I worked here. You know.
It's a blast.
Yeah, okay, and then what is your favorite part about The Sims 3 in general?
That's a great question. I think one of my most favorite parts about The Sims in general is the ability to tell stories. I love telling stories, and I think being able to control all the actors and the settings and all that kind of stuff really makes for a powerful experience, and you can tell any kind of story you want with The Sims. And
Yeah.
I think, you know, how you can really build up a story and move the characters around how you want. It's a lot of fun.
For sure, I like telling stories, and I like the whole aspect of being an adult and making choices in your adult life that can affect your game and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, and then some more questions. What is your favorite expansion pack and stuff pack?
Oh, good questions too. I think one of my most favorite expansions is actually Generations. It adds a lot of fun content to all the age groups.
Yeah.
But of course, everything before that and after has been a lot of fun too. We just finished Seasons, which was a lot of fun with the weather. But the Invisible Friend and some of the really funny stuff you can do with the pranks from Generations, I think, have to be my favorite.
Yeah, the pranks are mine too. So, yeah. Who's your best friend working here?
My best friend in the company? Oh, that's a really tough question. There's a lot of really fun people to work with. And I think, we talked about my favorite part of the Sims game, and my favorite part about working at EA is the people. There's so many fun people. SimGuru Graham is a fun guy to work with. SimGuru Grant is a lot of fun, or SimGuru Walrus actually is a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I'd be hard pressed to figure out one favorite person, but I think in general, how many fun people are really make this a really great place to work.
Cool. Sounds like he knows his stuff.
Yeah.
But also, if there was one thing that you could change about the expansion packs that you have worked on in the past, or one thing that you regret about putting in an expansion pack, what would it be?
Another good question. You got a lot of good ones. Making an expansion pack is really hard because we want to put so many things into them. There's so many different ideas that come up. When we start figuring out a new expansion, we start with a theme and have these huge brainstorms with all of developers on the team, not just the producers and designers, but we bring engineers and artists and lots of people into it. Everybody has such great fun ideas, but there's only a handful that we can actually turn into a game that makes a fun, really good gameplay experience and fits with the Sims theme. So I think I'd be hard pressed to single out a single feature that I'd be sad about cutting. But the hardest part about making a game is the stuff that you actually can't force into the game. So.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, for sure. And then also probably one or two more questions for you.
Yeah.
Possibly see a Sims 4 or anything in the future?
We've got a lot of great stuff coming for The Sims 3 this year, and I don't think we've ever announced so many different products at once. Back in January, we had that live broadcast, and we're really focused on our Sims 3 products right now. From University Life, we talked a little bit about Island Paradise, and then a future expansion coming down the road. So there's a lot of great stuff on the way. We're really focused on the Sims 3 line right now.
So that pretty much means there will be a Sims 4, so they all can keep their jobs. So, yeah, I think that's about it for you. And now I think I want to ask some questions. I want to ask SimGuru Britt about university life.
Definitely.
So cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Zeke.
It was nice meeting
Yeah,
you.
likewise.
All right, now I'm here with SimGuru Britt, or Brittany, and I'm going to ask her university life questions that you guys have asked me or wanted me to tell her on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And so yeah, let's get started. So we all know you guys are going to be hiring me in the future. Ryan made that clear, he's going to hire me. So,
all right.
Now, to start us off, are there any new careers and professions in university life? If so, are there majors for them? And are there any jobs on campus that we can do?
Wow. All right. Let me see if I can follow those in order.
Okay.
All right, new careers. So actually, yeah, there are 3 new careers with university life. They aren't actually tied to the majors. I actually think this is really cool. So we wanted to kind of tell the idea of the people you meet in university actually can have like a really profound impact on your life. So one of the things that we did was with our new social groups, the rebels, the nerds, and the jocks, we actually tied careers to those social groups. So it's really kind of cool because like as you get to like know more rebels and you kind of progress through like being a bigger rebel, you can actually be offered a job as an art appraiser, which is kind of cool, yeah. And my personal favorite actually is the nerds. You can actually become a video game developer. So that's my favorite by far. So let's see. The other question was, jobs on campus? Was that?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we didn't really want to interfere with the schedule of going to class because classes it's kind of a full-time thing, right?
Yeah, you have to go to graduate pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
And depending on the class load you take, that's actually kind of a full-time thing. So you barely even have time to have time with your friends if you're taking a full class load.
Yeah.
So, a job was really tough. So what we wanted to do was find a way for Sims to make money, but not necessarily be tied to a career or something they had to go to every day. So we came up with this idea of day jobs. And day jobs are really kind of fun because you can actually just apply for like a day job on the job board outside your dorm. And it's just like a little fun opportunity, like little one-shot thing that you can go and do, where maybe it's like going and schmoozing with someone around campus to kind
like
of
your teacher.
Yeah, something like that. Make a little extra cash. You can also do a couple of fun things on campus to make money. My favorite is actually volunteering as a medical test subject. So the science school is always looking for volunteers, and they're not necessarily always perfect in what they do, so you could have some weird side effects.
Yeah, and if you have an alien in your game, that would be perfect to be in the science career.
I may or may not be able to talk about plant sims and how things like that can happen.
Oh yeah, and I may or may not have pictures on my Facebook and Twitter of what the plant sims look like, so we won't say anything about that. But going back to the social groups, can you be in more than one social group, and can you max out all of them or more than one?
Yes, you absolutely can be a member of any social group or all the social groups that you want. I like the Nerd Rebel combo, but the jocks are a lot of fun too, and you can get the benefits of all the social groups, and it's really just a lot of fun because a lot of the things that you would just do naturally in playing the game, making friends or bowling or just some of the fun activities that you do around campus will just kind of naturally build your influence with these groups. Cool. So before you know it, you've kind of unlocked all the cool things that they've done.
Cool.
It's pretty neat.
Sounds good. And you also for each major that you're in, you get a item to level up your school subject, your grades, and your experience in that major.
Yeah,
right?
We refer to it as academic performance. That's kind of what you want to work on throughout the term in order to get your final grades in the spot you want them, even if that's a D.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you want. But yes, every major, there are 6 majors, and every major has a major-specific object or item that you're given when you enroll. We've talked about a few in some of our broadcasts and things like that. We've got things like sketchbooks and mobile radio stations, and it's really just fun because anybody can use them.
Yeah. But
the person who's in this specific major really gets that academic benefit from using them. It's kind of like extra credit outside of class.
Cool. Sounds good. And then also the rabbit holes for classes. I read a blog. I don't know if it was yours.
I think it was probably
mine. It was
mine.
probably yours that I read right when it came out. Is this correct that there's like 2 or 3 days where you do have rabbit hole classes, and then the other days you can go in and actually see the class being at work, and you can tell your sim to raise their hand and answer questions and stuff?
We really wanted to make it a mix, try to get the Sims out of the rabbit holes. I think the rabbit holes are still important. They definitely tell a story of being able to go. And actually, I think the classes for the rabbit holes are really awesome because they all have really interesting names. Like Studies in Girls. I think Studies in Girls was a class that you could possibly have. I think every guy should take that class.
Yeah, I will make my sim do that. My LP, for sure. So moving on, back to teachers. Can you do a little something to get extra credit with your teachers?
Oh, I see where I like the way you think. Yeah, actually, you can build relationships with your professors, whether it's friendly or romantic, outside of the classroom. You can hang out with them outside of class. You can also actually schmooze them and ask for extra credit and things like that.
So what do you think is more important, the grades or the successful social group?
Can I say both?
Both.
I think both. One thing that we really wanted to do with university was actually create this idea of balance. Because, nobody's life is strictly, your life, you go to school now. Your life is not strictly academics and it's not strictly fun either. So, you can choose to push in one direction or the other. But, it's really all about making that balance. If you can manage to stay an A student and still party with all your friends, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a big one. I got lots of tweets, lots of Facebook comments, lots of questions on YouTube, everywhere for this question. Can you become a pregnant person in the university, and can you have a baby or a marriage or a relationship with your teachers, which you've answered, and can you woohoo with your teachers?
Woohooing, yes. Babies, that's complicated. Mainly because, like I said, your schedule's pretty full when you're in university, and there's not a lot of opportunity for things, for children to develop while you're in university. So we really didn't feel like it was fair to the kids to kind of have them in this situation.
Okay.
So really, what you can woohoo and you can do all those fun things that you would do in university, but it's a little bit consequence free.
Cool.
Pregnancy is safer at home. You can definitely come back and invite your professor back home with you if you want to have professor's baby. That's all right.
Cool. People want Chinese food delivery back. Do you think we will see that sometime?
Oh, I love Chinese food delivery too, both in the game and in real life.
Do you think you guys will bring that back?
I can't make a promise, but I agree that it's pretty awesome. So.
Sims 4. We all know that. They're trying not to release information, but I'm getting their vibes. So don't worry. Let's see here. It said, play with herbs. Now, some people take this as something inappropriate that probably won't be in The Sims. And what is that really, just so we can clear it up for everyone out there?
Sure. Well, we definitely have an ESRB limit, and we definitely have to stay within that.
Teen.
Yes,
Teen.
We are teen rated. We are family friendly. Herbs are actually really, really cool. So they're a new harvestable for university. So you can grow them, you can harvest them. They're really pretty actually. And there are a bunch of different kinds of herbs. So like lavender and ginseng and cinnamon, tons of stuff. Buzzberry, I think, is also one. So these herbs all have really cool effects, and they all have different effects. So for instance, cinnamon actually kind of makes people feel a little bit more risky and amorous, maybe a little bit more willing to take a risk romantically.
Yeah.
And so they're really kind of a cool way to just change your gameplay up. I think buzzberry, don't quote me, I think buzzberry is the one that makes you gain or lose weight faster. Maybe.
Cool.
There's a couple. I think there's a couple that help you stay up late. So like if you want to cram and study, or maybe if your Sims doing something back in Sunset Valley, you can kind of take some herbs or cook some herbs in your food. Have an herbal tea. That's another nice way. And my favorite thing is actually the bonfire. So you can, if you have herbs with you and you're hanging out at a bonfire, you can throw those herbs on the bonfire.
Like
and
cinnamon. You were telling us about throwing cinnamon fire earlier today.
Yes. And it affects everyone. So it's kind of cool to watch what people do when you throw these things on there.
So we will definitely try all these in my LP. So don't forget, you guys, to watch. Okay, but anyway, let's go back to the school. Is there any classes that we can pick to take other than our major classes?
Your class schedule's kind of done for you when you enroll. So they basically kind of take the number of classes that you choose that you want to have, kind of the size of the course load that you want to do, and the university really just kind of comes up with a schedule that they think is gonna fit.
Cool.
So yeah, it's really more tailored that way.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good. And then also the scholarships. For those who don't use cheats like me, I don't use money cheats at all. Yeah, I'm one of the few. But anyway, what are some of the scholarships? Can you give us examples?
Totally. if you guys caught the last live broadcast that SimGuru Argus and SimGuru Lauren did, they talked a little bit about this aptitude test.
Yeah.
So when you first start into the game, the friendly university mascot actually will come and pay you a visit.
Yeah.
And he drops off kind of like a welcome basket, and in that welcome basket is an aptitude test. And the aptitude test is actually pretty cool because, you know, for those of you guys have Sims that you've played with forever and you're super attached to them and you love these Sims and they've either had careers or you've built their skills, the aptitude test is really a way to reward the players that do this sort of thing. So any traits or skills or previous careers or even like your kids' grades in high school can kind of add up to a high score on the aptitude test.
So it's like the SAT
Yeah,
in real
yeah,
life. Okay.
yeah. We used SAT as kind of our equivalent in North America.
Yeah, in North America.
And so depending on your score on the aptitude test, you can get advanced credits toward a specific degree, or you can actually gain a scholarship. And scholarships come in partial or full.
Okay.
So it
like
can
a
either
full
be
ride,
it can
pretty
either be a
much.
small amount of money or a lot of money.
Cool.
But you do have to keep your grades up while you're in school, or you
Yeah.
can lose your scholarship.
Cool. Which, all you guys remember that. Can you have roommates in dorms? Can you pick your own dorms? Can you have roommates outside of university life? What?
Definitely. Roommates are actually probably my favorite feature. I'm kind of partial to them. They were one of my features, so I love them dearly. So yeah, roommates are actually really cool, and they come in several varieties. You definitely have roommates in your dorm. So when you first move into a dorm, depending on how many Sims you chose to take to university, the game will automatically assign roommates to the rest of the dorm. So the dorm will fill up with up to 8 Sims, and those roommates are not controllable. So you're kind of having to figure. I mean, it's just like real life. You kind of have to figure out how to interact with these people and their crazy personality traits, things like that. But you know, if you choose to live off campus in one of like the houses or something, of campus housing, you can actually move out by yourself, or if you are strapped for cash and you want somebody to help pay the bills, you can actually apply for a roommate. Cool. So that roommate will kind of come in and they'll help you pay rent once a month and things like that.
Kind of like The Sims 2.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. And that actually does work in your home world. So like if you just have an extra basement or something and you want to have a roommate come move in with you,
get more money.
Yeah, totally. They'll come in. You can specify how many roommates you want or even what gender they are.
Cool.
And then they can help you pay rent and things like that. And if you get a roommate that you just really hate, you can kick them out.
Cool, and get a new one.
Yeah, you can totally get a new one.
And you can start relationships with them too, right?
Yes,
Romantic or
absolutely,
not.
definitely.
Cool.
Actually, speaking of relationships, one thing that's also really neat about roommates is like if you have a friend outside of your household that you want to just move in with you, you can actually just ask them to be your roommate. And so then they're not part of your household, but they're still kind of telling the story of being in the same house.
Sweet, cool. And then I think one more. What can we expect in the future of 2013 with Sims games?
Oh man, we have got an
Expansion
amazing
packs and stuff.
lineup this year. I think some people may have heard in January. We obviously University Life in March. I'm excited for SimCity in March as well.
Me too.
I'm so psyched about that game.
Yeah.
But then we also have Island Paradise coming later this summer.
Cool.
And then, of course, we've talked a little bit, but not a lot of info yet about Future Pack. So Future Pack coming later this year.
Cool.
Really excited about that. There's actually some cool forum threads for anyone who wants to hop on and share some ideas with the gurus. We're definitely
So
listening.
go do that. Yeah, they definitely are listening. We were talking today at lunch. They really do listen to you guys. For all of you guys that say, oh, you don't listen, blah, blah, blah. They really do.
We're
and
lurking.
I do too, so. Yep. They creep on your guys' comments, so don't be posting bad stuff. Cool. Well, thank you very much. I think that's it.
Yes.
Thank you for
All right.
having me at this community day
It's been so much
and
fun.
everything, so I invite you back.
Definitely. Well, it's been a ton of fun.
Yes,
And
it has.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, and I'm iPod Zeke. I upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. When I get a chance, please subscribe, like, and favorite my video, tweet me, and follow me on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff, and subscribe. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you.